Good morning, students. Let us begin with the new lesson today. It is the concluding part of the lesson, the last part of the lesson. Before going into the lesson, wish you all happy Raksha Bandhan. And I think you remember last year you wrote compositions on Raksha Bandhan. And time and tide waits for none. 1 year has passed. Today, again Raksha Bandhan. Wish you all happy Raksha Bandhan. And coming back to our lesson. On saying please, easy got to know. A.J. Gardner says that conductor had very good manners. His behavior was helpful not only for himself but the passengers also. Because of his good manners, he could make his work so easy, and the same influence is passed down to the passengers. Atmosphere plays very important role. If you see pleasant weather early in the morning, it will be the beginning of a fine day. Similarly is the case with having an atmosphere with good manners. If bad manners is infectious, good manners is also infectious, but the difference is the first infection is a bad infection and second one is the good one. So here the writer concentrates on the influence of good manners in the society, in day-to-day life. It is unfortunate that in spite of being in good company in good manners, if any person could not change his behavior. What I mean to say is that the writer says that it is quite unusual, even after you are in good atmosphere in the sense atmosphere where the people have very good manners, very politeness, but you remain rude and you do not change yourself. It's quite unusual. And what are the results of good manners? Good manners is a very good investment. Sound investment is the best investment. With good manners, you are not going to lose anything, but you can entirely change the atmosphere for yourself and for the others. And it's not definitely a wasteful luxury. It is not a wasteful luxury because your expenses are nothing. So, A.J. Gardner concentrates on the influence of good manners on the society. And in course of time, the bus conductor about whom we have been talking about is shifted to some other route. Our author says it doesn't matter. He must be spreading his good manners to some other people in some other way. Any person with minimum knowledge can understand the importance of politeness. There may be people who are absolutely foolish, who do not understand its importance. Further, our writer says that he wrote panegyric on the simple bus conductor. What do you mean by panegyric? Panegyric is a speech or piece of writing appreciating something or somebody. The question is that what made the writer to write such a great appreciation on a simple bus conductor? The writer says that the bus conductor was his inspiration. Here, he refers to one of the Wordsworth's poems. Wordsworth, William Wordsworth, one of the greatest English poets, he writes a poem on a leech gatherer. About a lonely moor. Again, a word is there, moor. What do you mean by moor? Moor is a person from a Muslim community from North America. He used to gather leeches. But the way in which the moor worked inspired Wordsworth to write a beautiful poem. So if a leech can inspire, a simple leech gatherer can inspire a poet, and why not A.J. Gardner? A.J. Gardner is definitely was inspired by the good conductor, bus conductor. So ultimately, he says that we need to learn more and more, even from the simple things, about the significance of good manners. Further, the writer says, A warlike situation, a fighting, can be changed into a good one with good manners. No doubt, we have police and judiciary to take care of everything. But as it was written in some of the hymns. Hymns are uh, songs praising God. Here the writer gives a reference from one of the hymns related to Bible. Nothing is perfect in this world. Similarly, the police and judiciary is also not perfect. Why it is not perfect? It is not perfect because it cannot punish, or it does not punish, rude behavior, impoliteness. In that sense, the police and judiciary is not perfect. So that is why that perfectness needed to be fulfilled by changing our own behavior into a polite behavior. That is what he wanted to say. Once again, if you take the example of the liftman, a passenger entered. If you go back to the lesson, you remember. The passenger entered into the lift. He said top. The liftman told him to say top, please. But the passenger did not say please. That is why the liftman threw that passenger out of the lift. What would have happened if the liftman, instead of throwing the passenger out, excused him? By the end of the day, the liftman would definitely have a satisfaction of good manners, and the passenger would definitely had a psychological pressure of misbehaving on himself. But it did not happen. So that is why, if you need to have satisfaction, a spiritual joy, you need to change the atmosphere with your polite behavior. Finally, coming to the last part of the lesson, last paragraph. The writer gives us the example of Chesterfield. Chesterfield is one of the greatest scholars, writers. One day, he was walking along the road from the side of the wall. In those days, there were no pavements, there were no footpaths. People used to walk immediately next to the wall because the area used to be dry. He was walking from the side of a wall. He met somebody coming from the other way. The man coming from the other way said to Chesterfield that he never gave way to fools. Thus, he wanted to say that Chesterfield is a fool. But Chesterfield, because he was a scholar, he replied that I always give way to fools, so you may go ahead. Thus, Chesterfield with his politeness proved that impoliteness is rather a foolishness. So, this is the end of the lesson. There are so many things for us to learn. Hope you feel happy and comfortable with the lesson. Now let us come back to our assignment. Last week I gave you 2 assignments. I'll provide you the answers for that. Check with your answers. And this time again I am sending you the assignment, but along with the assignment I am sending you answers also. There is a question set. Look into the assignment, look into the questions and answers as well carefully. And as usual, if you have any doubt, call me back to my personal number. Okay, bye. Have a nice day.